The Wild West, a lawless land where bullets rained and survival depended on luck. In 1960, 7 gunmen set out for the Wild West. Their story, the legendary tale of the 7 handfuls, became a symbol of courage and camaraderie. But what happened to the people who brought these characters to life? Their paths are truly remarkable. Let's take a look at the brilliant careers, key moments, and ups and downs of these Hollywood icons. In other words, the cross as it appeared on the cross. Eli Wallach portrayed Calvary on the big screen. Before beginning his film career, Wallach trained at Erwin Piscator's drama workshop. He later became one of the founders of the Actors Studio, where Lee Strasberg honed his acting skills. There, Marlon Brando learned the Stanislavski method alongside Montgomery Clift and his future wife, Ann Jackson. In particular, Marilyn Monroe, who was just beginning her acting career at the Actors Studio at the time, was one of the first to befriend Wallach. She even insisted on watching a full performance from behind the scenes of Wallach's stage to see the expert actor's technique firsthand. On the film set, she also met Wallach's wife, Anne, and they became close friends. Monroe even occasionally babysat their children. Wallach's film career began with his controversial role in Elia Kazan's 1956 film Baby Doll. The film sparked controversy due to its sexual themes. However, director Kazan insisted that Wallach did not actually seduce his co-star Carol Baker. Their scenes were filmed to create a subtle tension. Wallach's last film role was in the short film Train, 2015. In this short film, she portrays a Holocaust survivor who delivers a poignant message to a selfish teenager. Life can change in an instant. The film was shot in early 2014 and released in 2015. Specifically, Wallach also provided voiceovers for Toyota pickup truck commercials from 1984 to 1997. Wallach and his on-screen partner, actress Ann Jackson, were married for 66 years until her death in 2014. They had 3 children, Peter, Catherine, and Roberta. Sadly, a few years earlier, in 2005, Wallach had suffered a stroke and lost one eye. Eli Wallach passed away peacefully in 2001 at the age of 98. Steve McQueen plays Vin Tanner. Vin is a key character in the Fab Seven, Chris's right-hand man, and possesses impressive detective and shooting skills. In 1952, McQueen began his acting career in New York thanks to G.I. Bill. He honed his skills at Sanford Meisner's Neighborhood Playhouse and HB Studio under Uta Hagen. He delivered his first stage line in 1952 in a play by Molly Picon, a short Yiddish phrase meaning, "all is lost." During this period, Stella Adler was also his mentor, and he met Gia Scala. After his first film, McQueen played many roles. In 1971, he starred in the critically acclaimed car drama Le Mans, and this was followed by Junior Bonner, 1972, about an experienced rodeo cowboy. He met director Sam Peckinpah on the set of Getaway, where he also met his future wife, Ali MacGraw. McQueen later gave a physically demanding performance as a prisoner on Devil's Island in Papillon, 1973, in which he starred alongside Dustin Hoffman. His last 2 films, released in 1980, were based on true events. While Tom Horn is a Western film, The Hunter tells a modern story of a bounty hunter. Sadly, Steve McQueen passed away in 1980 at the age of 50. Despite doctors' warnings, he went to Mexico for surgery to remove a stomach tumor. The surgery, performed under a false identity, proved too much for his heart, and he soon suffered a heart attack and died. The El Paso Times reported that he died peacefully in his sleep. Charles Bronson fought for justice in the 1960s film The Magnificent Seven, playing Bernardo O'Reilly, one of the 7 gunmen. After World War II, he supported himself by working various jobs until he was hired as a stage designer for a theater company in Philadelphia. This encouraged him to pursue an acting career, and he initially took on small roles. He even shared an apartment with Jack Klugman, an equally ambitious actor who honed his skills at the Pasadena Playhouse. Bronson landed his first significant television role in 1960 on ABC's Man with a Camera, playing Mike Kovich, a freelance crime scene photographer working in New York City. The series ran for 2 seasons. He went on to play leading roles, most notably gaining attention for his role in the late 1960s film When Hell Broke Loose. His best-known role was as Butch Cassidy in an episode of the television series Tales of Wells Fargo, which aired in 1958. His last major film role was in the 1994 film Death Wish 5. Reviews were mostly negative. Many found the film repetitive, and Bronson himself seemed tired of the role. However, he made a successful transition to television, portraying Paul Fine's father figure in the Police Family trilogy that aired from 1995 to 1999. Unfortunately, Bronson's health deteriorated in later years, and he retired from acting after hip surgery in 1998. He passed away in 2003 at the age of 81. Although pneumonia and Alzheimer's disease were cited as possible causes of death, the official cause of death was respiratory failure, metastatic lung cancer, chronic obstructive pulmonary disease, and congestive cardiomyopathy. Robert Vaughn Eli Lee. Robert Vaughn, who plays the troubled veteran Lee, was encouraged into an acting career by his mother at an early age. She even had him rehearse the famous "to have or not to have" monologue from Hamlet when he was just 5 years old. His mother's support also helped him land roles on radio programs in the Chicago area. Vaughn began his radio career playing the character Billy on Jack Armstrong's popular program All-American Boy. His television career started on November 21, 1955, with a guest appearance in the hospital drama Medic. And this was the first of more than 200 television roles he would play in a career that lasted until the mid-2000s. He made his first guest appearance in 1956 in the classic Western series Gunsmoke, returning a year later alongside actress Barbara Eden. Vaughn married actress Linda Staub in 1974. The couple also appeared together in an episode of the television series The Protectors in 1973. The couple adopted 2 children and settled in Ridgefield, Connecticut. Actress Joyce Jameson also played a significant role in Vaughn's life in the late 1960s, even guest starring with him in an episode of The Man from U.N.C.L.E. For years, rumors circulated that Vaughn was the biological father of British director Matthew Vaughn. However, this news was never confirmed. Sadly, Robert Vaughn passed away in November 2016 at a nursing home in Danbury, Connecticut. He had been battling leukemia for a year and died just 11 days before his 84th birthday. Vladimir Sokolov played the role of an old man. After completing his education, Vladimir Sokolov took on a prestigious position as an actor and assistant director at the Moscow Art Theater. In the 1910s, he joined the Kamerny Theater. In the early 1920s, he toured Germany with his own theater company. This trip introduced him to the influential director Max Reinhardt, who persuaded him to stay in Berlin. There, Sokolov achieved success in theater and began his film career with German and Austrian films such as The Love of Jean Ney, 1927, and The Ship of Lost Souls, 1929. However, the rise of National Socialism forced the Jewish Sokolov to flee Europe. In 1932, he took refuge in Paris, where he continued his theater and film career. In 1937, he moved to the United States. Although Sokolov's English was limited upon arrival, his talent was immediately apparent. He played the lead role in Orson Welles' adaptation of Georg Büchner's play, The Death of Danton. That same year, he achieved his first major Hollywood success portraying the painter Paul Cézanne in the English-language film The Life of Émile Zola. Begin Darcy. From 1937 to 1950, Sokolov appeared in various Broadway productions. He easily adapted to American cinema and portrayed characters from diverse ethnic backgrounds. It is estimated that he played characters from over 35 different nationalities, including Filipino, French, Greek, Arab, Romanian, and Chinese. Vladimir Sokolov's last film roles were Escape from Tsarina and Taras Bulba, both released posthumously, in which he starred alongside Yul Brynner. A versatile actor with a long and successful career, Sokolov died of a stroke in Hollywood, California, in 1962. Natividad Vacío bir köylüdür. While Natividad Vacío's most famous role is undoubtedly that of the peasant, Miguel in the classic 1960s Western The Magnificent Seven, his career didn't end there. He began his acting career in 1950 with a small role in the television series The Lone Cowboy. Throughout his career, he repeatedly demonstrated his great versatility. He appeared in the 1953 film noir The Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy, directed by Ida Lupino. He also had a supporting role as Frank Smith, the gardener, the characters called Frank. In the comedy My Dad is the Best. Although he continued to take occasional film roles, television became his primary medium of expression. In 1988, he portrayed Onofre, a one-armed man, in the film The Beanstalk, starring Robert Redford. He was a member of a group nicknamed the Old Men Brigade. Vasio was a close friend of George Reeves, the star of Superman: The New Adventures of Superman. They met at Pasadena Community College, and Vasio, nicknamed Naughty, regularly entertained Reeves by singing and playing guitar. A quick learner, Reeves often played and sang Mexican songs with him. Remarkably, Vasio's character was portrayed by actor Diego Fuentes in several scenes in the film Hollywoodland, 2006, which chronicles the life and death of George Reeves. Pepe Hearn plays Tomas. The actor portraying Tomas, Pepe Hearn, was born in 1927 in New Jersey to Spanish immigrant parents. His family was originally from the Canary Islands. He began his acting career at the age of 21 with a role in The Bodyguard, 1948, and worked continuously for almost 40 years. Director William A. Sider gave him two of his most important roles in the 1950s, Borderline, 1950, and Live Fast, 1954. Although this was one of Thomas Hearn's last film roles, he found more regular work on television. Over the years, he made guest appearances in numerous series such as The Rifleman, The Fugitive, I Spy, The High Chaparral, Bonanza, The Streets of San Francisco, Lou Grant, The Bionic Woman, and even Charlie's Angels. His television career continued into the 1980s, with roles in series like Murder, She Wrote, and Hill Street Blues. Sadly, Pepe Hearn passed away in Los Angeles, California, in 2009. Horst Buchholz plays Chico. After returning to Germany to film Ship of the Dead, 1959, Buchholz moved to Hollywood, where he played a young gunslinger in The Magnificent Seven, 1960. This American Western was a remake of Akira Kurosawa's classic Seven Samurai, 1954. Buchholz took on the original role of Toshiro Mifune in the Japanese version. Before coming to Hollywood, he had gained experience dubbing foreign films and had played previously unreleased small roles in films such as Why, 1951, and The Berlin Adventure, 1952. He later took on more significant roles in films such as Marianne of My Youth, 1954, Starless Sky, 1955, and Queens, 1956. The film The Magnificent Seven was an instant success, and Buchholz went on to star in many Hollywood productions shot in confined spaces. These included the romantic drama Fanny, 1961, in which he starred alongside Leslie Caron and Maurice Chevalier, and a leading role with James Cagney in Billy Wilder's comedy 1, 2, 3, 1961. Despite his popularity with American audiences, Buchholz's career took an unexpected turn. Due to his busy schedule, he was unable to play iconic roles such as Tony in West Side Story, 1009, 161, and Sharif Ali in Lawrence of Arabia, 1962. These roles were given to Omar Sharif. In 1958, Buchholz married French actress Myriam Bru. They had a son, Christopher, and a daughter, Beatrice. Christopher also became an actor. Despite having a stable marriage, Buchholz preferred Berlin, the city he loved, while Miriam lived a happy life in Paris. Sadly, Buchholz passed away suddenly in 2003 at the age of 69. He contracted pneumonia after hip fracture surgery. James Coburn, in the role of an Englishman. In this film, James Coburn showcased his knife-throwing skills as an English character. His acting career began in 1953 with the children's television program Four Star Playhouse. Surprisingly, after shaving off his 11-day-old beard in record time, he landed a role in a razor commercial, even jokingly saying he had more teeth than all the other candidates. Coburn began her film career in 1959 with the western Lonesome Ride, in which she starred alongside Pernell Roberts, and soon after appeared in another western, Face of a Fugitive. She then took on a significant role in the war film Hell is for Heroes, 1962, alongside Steve McQueen. This collaboration continued in another war film, The Great Escape, 1963, directed by John Sturgis. Coburn also did voice work for the same company in The Sun King, 1963. He demonstrated his versatility in charade, 1963, as a villain opposite Cary Grant and Audrey Hepburn. He later took on a comedic role as a naval officer in the Americanization of Emily, replacing James Garner. This role earned her a 7-year contract with 20th Century Fox. Coburn was married twice. Her first marriage to Beverly Kelly in 1959 lasted 20 years, and they had 2 children. In 1993, he married actress Paula Murad Coburn, and together they founded the James and Paula Coburn Foundation. Sadly, James Coburn passed away in 2002 at the age of 74 from a heart attack. His wife, Paula, died of cancer approximately 2 years later, in 2004. Brad Dexter plays the role of Harry Luck. After serving in World War II, Brad Dexter, then known as Barry Mitchell, appeared in Roy Rogers' Western El Dorado in 1946. He reprised his leading role in Sinbad the Sailor in 1947. In 1949, he made his Broadway debut in Magnolia Alley. In 1950, Dexter abandoned his previous identity and adopted the name Brad Dexter to play a malevolent detective in the film The Asphalt Jungle. But he continued his acting career with roles in films such as 14, 1951. A major turning point in his career came when he played the villain in the RKO production Odds and Ends, 1951, in which he starred alongside Victor Mature and Jane Russell. Impressed by his work, RKO offered him a similar villainous role opposite Russell in the film Macau, 1952, and even hired him. In 1963, Dexter tried his luck in the historical fiction genre by portraying California Supreme Court Justice David S. Terry in an episode of the anthology series Death Valley Days. This episode focused on the rivalry between Terry and abolitionist Senator David C. Broderick. Broderick died in 1859 from wounds sustained in a duel with Terry. A heroic event in 1964 marked the beginning of a special friendship. During the recording of the album None But the Brave, 1965, Dexter rescued singer Frank Sinatra from drowning in Hawaii. Grateful for Frank Sinatra's bravery, Sinatra appointed Dexter as vice president of Sinatra Enterprises. Dexter's love life was tumultuous. In 1953, he had a brief marriage to singer Peggy Lee. In 1971, he married wealthy heiress Mary Bogdanovich and lived with her until her death in 1994. That same year, Dexter married June Dayer, to whom he remained married until his death. Sadly, Brad Dexter passed away in 2002 at the age of 85 from complications of emphysema.